It is orange and blue today. Position previews and running backs. You see that smiling face, Mace. You just said it off air. JK Dobbins, that's a happy man.
He's happy to be a Bronco. He's happy that his wait ended before training camp. And there are some guys out there whose wait will continue into training camp, but JK Dobbins got resolution during minicamp that he would be a Denver Bronco. I think it allowed Sean Payton to sleep a little bit more soundly during his offseason respite, that he had his running back 1 or 1A. How would you describe JK Dobbins, Cease? Is he 1A?
I think he's 1A and RJ Harvey's 1B. And I think at some point, and we can discuss when that would happen, I think the roles switch.
What will cause the switch?
Harvey learning pass protection. Remember when Clinton Portis was a rookie and he didn't really get going until week 6, and then he had 1,500 yards?
Yes.
Now, I don't predict RJ Harvey will have 1,500 yards, maybe all purpose, but I think it's, you've got your safe guarantee on the box, talented one too, in JK Dobbins, and then RJ Harvey with all that talent. Once he learns the skills of pass protection and you can trust him more, that's when he can take over as the lead back for the Broncos.
Yeah, that's, I think, a great comp going back 23 years ago to Clinton Portis as a rookie, because he came in that year and it was clear from week 1 that he was the most talented back in the Broncos running back room then, with all due respect to Olandis Gary and Mike Anderson at that moment. But he didn't have pass pro down. Those other guys, veterans, were better at that time. When he got that to a more refined level, then you turned him loose and it was off to the races for Clinton Portis for about a season and 3 quarters, probably only behind Terrell Davis as far as just electricity as a Broncos running back. Incredible performance from him for that time. And I could see it flowing like that for RJ Harvey, where you start the season and maybe it's more JK Dobbins and then it inverts over the course of the year. Maybe it's because of pass pro. Maybe it could also be because JK Dobbins does get injured, because a reason why JK Dobbins was on the market as long as he was is because to this point in his career, he has missed more games than he's played.
Right. How does Bo Lowry, how does the training staff change that for JK Dobbins? The talent is clear. We don't even need to talk about JK and his talent. He's a lead back in the NFL. He can take over, and he doesn't need to come off the field, Mace. He's a good receiver as well.
Yeah, he can catch passes. He can block. I mean, he's the whole package. I mean, that's one thing you like about him. Like, he is a complete back when healthy. Like, he can do everything. He can be an every down presence. He's even got leadership capabilities. Like, he comes in as a 6-year veteran, and he brings a presence to that running back room that did not exist. But it's all about the medical for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he lingered on the market last year. It's why he lingered on the market this year. It's why he's no longer a Baltimore Raven. Did well early in his career for the Ravens, but he could not stay healthy. And you can't have a conversation about JK Dobbins, unfortunately, without talking about the medical in regard to him.
Every time he's been healthy, I mean, he gets 5 yards a carry. So, obviously he's had some bad luck with injuries, but, I think our, medical crew, and, they've done such a good job here keeping guys healthy. So hopefully they can help him out in that aspect. And, we'll get a really good addition that'll be available.
That, of course, is Joe Lombardi, Broncos offensive coordinator. And, that's basically the story for JK Dobbins.
Well, he signs here for multiple reasons, Mace, but one of them, if I'm in JK's shoes and I go, okay, I've been banged up a little bit, they got Bo Lowry, whatever, I'm also going, Sean Payton's going to use 2 backs.
Yeah.
I can come in and not have to carry the full workload and hopefully, I'd like to say probably, stay healthier because of that, because of a shared workload. And RJ Harvey, listen, he may be 1B, but that's a uppercase B.
Yeah.
He's pushing for A right away. He's going to have a role.
Well, I mean, the question then becomes just like what the percentage is, right? I mean, ideally, would you like RJ Harvey to become as productive as Alvin Kamara?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
that's 81 catches as a rookie, by the way.
That's 81 catches as a rookie. That, by the way, Alvin Kamara's first 4 seasons in terms of receptions, 81, 81, 81, and 83.
That's a model of consistency right there.
Yes, exactly. Now, in those 4 years, his rushes were 120, 194, 171, 187. So think about that for a moment. So like his rookie year, Alvin Kamara did not even average 10 carries a game. Okay. He so 120 carries over 16 games, Cease. I mean,
7.
That's like 7.5 carries a game, man. 7.5 carries and 5 catches a game. That's what Kamara was as a rookie. It's 12 touches.
Yeah. I'd say 200 touches is on the docket, maybe even on the low end for RJ Harvey this year.
Yeah. But if you can be productive with those touches, all good. I think what determines the number of touches may actually be JK Dobbins' health. If Dobbins stays healthy, then maybe it's right around 200. If Dobbins is injured, misses some time, probably ends up going north of that out of necessity. In other words, you'd kind of like it to stay around 200. If it's around 200 for RJ Harvey, it means JK Dobbins did stay healthy, that the methodology of Bo Lowry and his training staff did result in the better health outcomes that the Broncos were hoping for.
Yes.
It's a big if, but it's what you're hoping for. I mean, it's part of what the Broncos believe in. It's, if you look at their free agent signings, their big free agent signings, Evan Engram, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, JK Dobbins, all of them have injury histories. I mean, there's a pattern here. They are truly, as an organization, betting on themselves. They're betting on Bo Lowry and his staff. That's a heck of a vote of confidence in their methods that they believe can keep those guys healthy. I mean, we are fixing to find out just how strong the Broncos methodology is, because it's going to be put to a huge stress test with the fact that they've brought in these 4 free agent pickups that all have recent significant injury histories. And then, of course, you have Alex Singleton coming back from a torn ACL. And that's what they're banking their hopes of improving upon last year's 10-7 season on, are these guys staying healthy.
Yep. That's 5 starters.
Yeah.
And JK Dobbins is a starter to me. And if you want to call them co-starters, we know the first official depth chart, Sean will be all mad when I have to do it. Like, okay, yeah. But to me, it's Dobbins at the beginning of the season, Harvey involved, and then there'll be a switch somewhere, maybe October, where you see Harvey now getting most of those touches while Dobbins still involved as well. Neither one of these guys are going to go anywhere in terms of, one guy's going to take over. He's going to use 2, just like Ingram and Kamara, just like anybody and Darren Sproles.
And who starts may well depend just on the situation, the alignment, what play he wants to
run. I love it. The matchup, the opponent.
I mean, you might see Jaleel McLaughlin get a start or two because that's just the play they have designed to start the game, right?
And he's making the team. Like I'm, Sharpie, pen, whatever. Like Jaleel McLaughlin and what he can do, it's different from everybody else.
He's his own category, and don't be surprised if he ends up being a factor on kickoff returns as well, because as that's evolving, the role of the second guy back there is going to be pretty important. And you want somebody who can be explosive. And Darren Rizzi has talked about having a running back there, and that may end up being Jaleel McLaughlin. And if you have two explosive guys back there, if you have Mims and McLaughlin as returners, that really puts a huge stress upon the opposing coverage team as well, in terms of how they've got to set up, where they've, what they're, how they're aligning on each side, etc. If you've got two guys that can just blind you with speed back there. So there's a lot that I think is going to end up keeping Jaleel McLaughlin on this 53, not just offense.
Right. Offense, special teams, just that's the way you want guys to carry themselves.
Yeah.
Show up early, stay late, put in all the work, never take anything for granted. That's what Jaleel does.
And that's another thing, like you mentioned, he's the guy gets there at 5 a.m. He puts in the hours. His study habits are unparalleled in that building. Like, you want guys that kind of set a good example for the building, and that's something that Jaleel McLaughlin does. And then if Jaleel's in there again, he's his own category because he's kind of that gadget type of back, that smaller back. It certainly puts a crunch elsewhere when you start talking about guys like Tyler Bidet, and you start talking about Audric Estime, who we talked a lot about in the offseason. Of course, we did a lot on RJ Harvey, and RJ is the future. I mean, there's no doubt. RJ is the future of this running back position, and the future may arrive back half of the season. The future may land this year for RJ Harvey.
Oh, for sure.
I think RJ Harvey ends up leading the team in touches and ends up leading the team in yards from scrimmage from the running back position. I'll say that right now. That's my prediction. So I'll put that out there. But the roster battle is going to be the crunch on the back end. And it's why you look back and say, okay, Sean Payton did say Audric Estime was going to get opportunities. Let's actually play that quote, because this was back in minicamp. This was before OTAs. This was a couple of weeks before the Broncos signed JK Dobbins.
Yeah, year 2 for him, just running style, his physicality, the things that got him drafted, the things that we saw. A little bit harder for him last year for a handful of these guys. I don't want to say the grade was incomplete, but they just didn't have enough. He's a back that requires enough touches. He's going to get those opportunities.
He's not going to get enough touches if JK Dobbins is around, though.
Right.
I mean, not in the regular season. It's camp, man. I mean, he is squarely on the bubble as Audric Estime.
Yep. And there's been some talk about Audric, and I believe it was Mike Kliss, and I, don't want to speak out of turn, but Kliss has brought up, perhaps some maturity issues there. The guy's 21.
Yeah.
I was a moron at 21. Some people might say I'm still that, but he's gonna have to change that, Mace.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say he has the time to change that. I know Jaleel McLaughlin's making the team.
Yeah.
I know RJ Harvey and JK Dobbins are making the team. I don't know if Audric Estime is going to make the 53, make the practice squad, or get cut. All are on the table.
Audric Estime turns 22 years old the day before the season opener.
Okay.
And there's no guarantee he's still on the roster then.
Right. Today's episode of Orange and Blue Today is presented by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law was founded by Dr. Joseph Ramos, an attorney and ER doctor, to provide exceptional care to those injured in accidents. With a unique understanding of both medicine and law, the Ramos Law team is built to fight for you every step of the way. Experience the Ramos Law difference. Contact them today at ramoslaw.com.
I mean, just a comparison here. So Audric Estime is 21 years old. Blake Watson is 25 years old. I mean, Blake Watson, he transferred from Old Dominion to Memphis. Blake Watson, remember when we talked to him down at the Shrine game and asked him, and he, asked him about, like, did you ever get in trouble? And he talked about how he his alarm clock didn't go off.
He set it for PM instead of AM.
PM instead of AM, and he missed a workout.
That's the most he got in trouble.
Yeah, that was it. I mean,
and he's all about ball. He's all about studying. He's all about learning.
But I mean, Audric Estime, I mean, he works hard too. I mean, I think one thing for Audric Estime though is, like, the fumbling definitely did take a toll on him last year, and that's hard to shake. And you can get down mentally because of that. And I would say right now, as we speak today, that as you head into training camp, Watson and Estime, they're probably on the same level in terms of, like, okay, they're both second-year backs. Yeah, one was drafted, one wasn't. The thing that hurts Watson, of course, is that he missed time last year. It took him a while to get going, and he did miss some time during OTAs and minicamp. He was over on the side field working out. So I guess if you have a concern about Watson, is that, okay, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And then you do mention the chronological age. Okay, he turns 26 this year. Watson turns 22. Does that end up factoring as well? Because that it becomes a tread on the tire issue. Okay. So does that end up being a factor? But at the same time, if Audric Estime puts the ball on the ground and Blake Watson doesn't, all the other stuff goes away, and it becomes a matter of Estime fumbles, Watson doesn't. And if you're going to keep a younger back, it probably ends up being Watson and not Estime. And then, oh, by the way, Tyler Bidet is the guy that who and what he is. Tyler Bidet, you can probably slip through the practice squad because he is so far removed from his draft class that teams aren't really looking at him if he hits the waiver wire.
And he can do it all.
Yeah.
Runner, receiver, everything. Trusted.
He might be your little Jordan Humphrey of the running back room. As in, slip him through the practice squad, and if you need him, you can just elevate him. And he's going to be there.
That's your Dobbins insurance.
Yes, exactly. If Dobbins is hurt, Bidet is going to probably be the most likely 1B in there. But because he's in his fourth camp out of college, and you've had 3 crops of young running backs come into the league since then, the chances of him slipping through the practice squad are excellent. Better than they would be for Estime or Watson. Now, Watson, you've already slipped him through once last year during the season, so there's probably a decent chance. Probably if you're ranking, okay, chances of slipping through the practice squad, Bidet probably has the best shot. Watson the next best shot, and probably Estime has the least shot, even though he's got the fumbling that we've talked about, him being a draft pick last year, middle rounds. If you're trying, you probably have the least chance of slipping him through the practice squad, although there's probably a decent chance that you can. And then, of course, the other thing that you always mention, Cease, is that this year had so many running backs get drafted that if a running back gets cut, maybe you could sign him and claim him for your roster off the waiver wire. That's a possibility as well.
Yep. And I believe it's Jordan Dizon that'll be in that department this year for the Broncos.
He is the guy in charge of pro scouting. That is his job.
And
what scour the wire and say, This is the the Eagles are masters of the
That's what they
wire.
do. Yeah.
Yes.
Almost in an old school. Patriots used to do that, and then the Eagles kind of took that over, and now Jordan's back with the Broncos, and he can do that too.
I'm a big fan of wire scrounging and practice squad scrounging.
It's my favorite job in the NFL. Not that I could ever work in the NFL, but if I did, I would want to be Jordan Dizon's assistant.
Players might hate me though, because I would be completely messing around with the last 3 or 4 spots on the roster all the time.
Well, how many of these guys we see at the Shrine Bowl?
Yeah, I'd be completely moving around left and right because these are guys that you and I watch at the Shrine like this. Oh, I like this guy here. Let's give him a look. Like, because I've got I've got this mental Rolodex of players, and you do as well, that we like. That okay, I remember him. Let's give him a look.
Commanders cut Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who was a 7th round pick, and we like Ja'Cory. I'm pouncing today.
I'm pounding the table for Krosky-Merritt if he gets waived. And bringing him in. That's me. Okay.
Chiefs tried to get cute with Brashard Smith, another 7th round pick.
And that's a guy you visited with. That's a guy you met with. In Indianapolis.
Stealing him.
If the Chiefs get cute and try to pass him through, you put a claim on. You change your plan. If I'm the Broncos, if Brashard Smith, they put a claim. If he gets waived, you put a claim on him. Taj Boyd, same thing, right?
Same thing. And that's why we can't say Audric Estime is safe even on the practice squad, because the plan will change.
Or if he's on the 53, like he could make the 53, and if one of those guys is cut, like let's say Brashard Smith, hypothetically, okay? Brashard Smith is waived by the Chiefs and Estime sticks, or Krosky-Merritt's waived by the Commanders and Estime sticks, or Taj Boyd, okay? And you might be like, oh, well, we had some good scouting intel on this guy. Let's try to make a claim. Now, you're sitting at number 20 on the waiver claim priority list, so there are 19 teams ahead of you. You might not get that guy, but you might. And so you might sit there, and at 2 p.m. the next day, guess what? You got him.
Lottery ticket.
Got to go. It's tough business. That's why I say, if I had that job, and if I were a GM, the guys that have spots like 49 through 53 on the team would hate me, because they'd be nervous as hell, because I would always be looking at practice squads around the league, and I would be churning the back end of that roster always trying to find guys. I'd always be looking.
Find your Todd Davises, find your linebacker Brandon Marshalls, find those guys that are there. Never stop building the roster. I mean, George Payton said it March 31. You never stop trying to build the roster. Never. And that's why I never say the final 53. It's never a final 53. Never. No
such thing. Doesn't exist.
So what we're talking about, Mace, a little bit of a side thing here, but we talk about the players on the roster for the running back position. But what we're actually saying is there might be some guy out there that ends up playing significant snaps for Denver that's not on the roster today.
And that's why I'm glad you bring up Jordan Dizon coming from Philadelphia, because coming from out of that building and the way the Eagles operate in massaging the waiver wire and looking at that is going to impact how the Broncos work the back end of the roster. Make no mistake. I expect we will see in the next couple of years a little more activity there than we saw in the past couple of years. I think that will come to bear. So keep your eyes on the ball, watching the roster and watching the waiver wire in the days after the cuts. I think we'll see some interesting moves potentially happen.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Day and Dobbins were on the Ravens at the same time.
I believe they were.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bidet could play some snaps now. He doesn't need to come off the field. He's one of those 3-down guys. What do you do that's special with Watson? I'd say it's receiver. With
Yes.
Estime, it's supposed to be power. And I'm sorry to say it, but I can find power backs that are on the street right now. I can't find guys that are great receivers like Blake Watson. He's got to stay healthy. But if you're a Bidet, he's already proven, you know who he is. He plays 3 downs. I mean, this is a log jam right here.
You trust Bidet.
Oh, yes. Look at the playoffs. Who got the jersey?
Yeah, that's another thing. He'd been out for 3 months, and they gave him the jersey. Remember, we did an extra little quick show about that.
Yes, we did.
We were in the press box in Buffalo.
Good times.
That was a good
Cold times. That was a good trip.
It was a good trip until about 1 o'clock on that Sunday, but it was a good trip until then.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
Yeah.
Weird late night drive to Cleveland to get me back to Denver.
So yeah.
You had some white knuckle driving, brother.
I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm not sure everyone appreciated it, but I'm glad you appreciated it.
Oh, I appreciate it for sure. Even when we're in West Virginia and you're on the downpour that we had to go through on the road, couldn't even see the stripes.
Oh, I had a little bit of a flashback on my little baseball trip in June. Because it was, as I was going up and down I-81 through the Shenandoah Valley, it was raining, just like it was last September.
Okay.
I'm like, why is it always raining when I make this drive? Why?
Well, watch this roster.
Yes.
Right. Watch the Broncos roster. Watch the running back position, and honestly, watch other teams to see what kind of moves they make.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you have a lot of talent here, but there's so many questions outside of RJ Harvey, JK Dobbins, Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yep.
Still have a bunch of questions.
Yep. Questions, and hopefully we'll find some answers here.
Very good.
Hopefully RJ Harvey is the long-term answer. That's the big thing. Long-term, RJ Harvey's got to be the long-term answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the hope lies. And JK Dobbins being here is not a knock on RJ Harvey.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's all about having 2 quality backs, 2 trustworthy backs, and allowing RJ to develop as a pass protector and not putting too much on his plate right away. That's what this is about. But RJ Harvey, long-term, he's the guy.
Well, you're the guy or gal watching us here on YouTube, and we certainly appreciate that. Mace, before we wrap up today's show, how can folks out there choose to help us?
Like,
comment,
share,
subscribe,
hit that notification bell
so that you
never
miss vid. That's right. He's Andrew Mason. You follow him on all the socials at Mace Denver. I'm at Cecil Lammey saying OBT's BFD. Thanks much for watching. Stay tuned, and would you please stay frosty